Jeremy, what made you believe in the teachers that believed in you?
So what made me believe in the teachers that believed in me? That's good. And let me tell you why she's asking this question in case you don't know. Like, I had a teacher in 8th grade that told me I wasn't high school material. Like, he actually said my mom down and was like, your son's so dumb and so out of control, he's not even gonna make it in high school. Then I had a teacher tell me in high school that I wasn't gonna go places, I wasn't gonna be successful. So I actually spent 3 years, like in 3 different schools in the 9th grade. I got kicked out of one school, went to another school. And when I went to that school, I completely failed and went to another school. And it wasn't until I came to my 3rd school for the 9th grade that things for me clicked. So that's why she's asking that question. So this is what I'll say. It dawned on me that you didn't have to be here. So as these teachers are telling me I'm amazing, I'm smart, I'm talented, I've got potential, they care about me, they see the best in me, I started to believe in them because they was believing in me. But what made me believe in them is because they did not have to be there. They could have became a scientist, they could have went and became an accountant, they could have did anything else. They chose to be an educator. So it's, you know, it's like they wanted to love me, they wanted to care about me. And so that's what made me believe them. They was consistent with it. Regardless of how I treated them, regardless of me showing up to class late and the spitballs and the attitudes and the behavior and the fights and getting kicked out and suspension, they never gave up on me. And so I said, maybe I do have hope. Maybe I can be smart. Maybe I am phenomenal. Maybe there is something special about me. So since they were willing to take a chance on me, I'm like, shoot, why not take a chance on them? And everything in my life changed. And so I want to also address something else. Because I go to schools all over the country. I just got back from Stewart Academy in Kentucky not a while ago, meeting with teachers, and I'm meeting these teachers who love their students. I have had teachers cry because they want to connect with their students, but the students don't trust them, and the students put a wall up, and that's a problem. And I'm gonna tell you where that comes from. I feel like your teacher, you don't understand me, you ain't grow up in my hood. Well, let me just tell you something, public service announcement. Maybe they didn't grow up in your hood. Maybe they don't understand your world. Should they have a better intimate connection with you? For sure, but they don't. But that don't make them a villain. And that don't mean they don't care about you. And I'm passionate about this because there are so many teachers who care. I've literally had them cry on my chest. And they're like, I wish my students would trust me. I wish they would let me in. But for whatever reason, because they don't look like you, you feel like they don't understand your story and they can't teach you. And that is a problem. So let's just move past this. They might not understand where your story is right now, but they want to have a positive impact to how your story ends.
You think twice about your life, it probably happens at night, right? Fight it, take the pain, ignite it.
Check it out. Mental health days are very controversial, which I don't think they should be. I see all these tweets and things being like, mental health is important, mental health days are valid, and so on, yet school, it's still something that's disregarded. When you have anxiety, you know it's real, and when people just assume that you're making that up, it hurts. Even if you don't have anxiety, we're not robots. Like, your brain also needs days off, but also you need to make sure you spend that mental health day right. For example, I don't recommend going on social media. Maybe like limit yourself. I don't know if any of you guys have this, but I have like a few songs that always calm me. If you want, I'll tell you them. Don't you worry, I'm not lonely. Whenever I'm anxious, I always play this song. Sometimes I'm in a mood where that doesn't help me. And super like upbeat, happy songs.
Just relax, okay.
My people, please cut out negative people in your life. I asked you guys on Twitter for help with this video, and this was probably the thing I got the most and the thing I agree with the most. Honestly, having a good support system is so important. Again, this is gonna sound incredibly silly, but when I'm unhappy, sometimes I just ask for a hug. When I was in school, I never did this. Keeping that in and not telling people, it makes it worse. But that's why you also have to have your good support system that's gonna be like, yeah, here's your hug. And at least for me too, just as a friend, when I see people open up and be like, I really want a hug right now, like that's adorable. If you feel anxious in school, please make sure you eat food. I know it sounds so simple, but it's so important. For me, in my personal situation, when I'm anxious at home, I actually binge eat, which is the worst thing to do. When I'm in public and I have anxiety, I don't eat. I don't really know why. If you have anxiety, I want you right now to just analyze yourself, make sure it doesn't affect your relationship with food, because I feel like that does happen for people and it can be incredibly dangerous to your health. And once it does become a habit, work every single day to break that habit. Every single day, I would write a note on my fridge and be like, don't tie your emotions with food, Jesse. Someone tweeted me this and I thought it was so cute and so true. Cute little pictures in your locker. Yeah, having those in your locker can be incredibly beneficial. And if maybe seeing people makes you stressed out, just put like puppies. Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but I promise you it can actually help. Unless your school has these banned. Fidget spinners, slime, silly putty, those things can help. For me personally, when I talk and have a fidget spinner in my hand, it actually makes me feel a little bit less anxious. I don't know why, it does. Also a few other things. Some people tweeted me these ideas and I loved them. One was having a hair tie in your wrist. I think it just really helps to have something just in case that you can set your mind to that can kind of take your mind off of whatever is triggering your anxiety. You know, sometimes when you get really anxious in class and you can't really like just yell it out to someone, but you really just want to let go of it because you're just bottling up these emotions and it's getting overwhelming. Having a little journal to write those things out really quick, and sometimes it can make that thing seem a lot less scary. Personally, I was always too shy to like reach out and make internet friends, but I remember I would watch YouTubers and they would talk about similar experiences with their own anxiety, and I was like, wow, I'm not the only person that's feeling these things. There's this one girl named Jessie Page. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend watching her. The memes that she puts in her videos are more relevant than she is. Oh, or even find people that are comfortable with these traits that maybe make you feel anxious. You'll start getting control over things a lot more. It takes time. Be patient. Don't torture yourself to be a certain way. Don't be a dictator over your own body. I wish I knew that growing up. Keep trying to get more and more comfortable with what you want to do. I went through it. I'm alive. I came out confident as heck, and I stuck through with what I wanted to do in my own ways of self-expression.
My question for Mr. Anderson is, what do I do when I have a friend that's suicidal and they keep rejecting my help?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. So you want to know, what do I do if I have a friend that's suicidal but they reject my help? And I'm gonna tell you something, my answer is probably not popular, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you because I care about you and I care about your friend. Let me first give you some stats. They say out of 100,000 people, 13 of them are gonna commit suicide. Studies show that 121 people per day commit suicide. This is a problem. So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have a friend or a classmate that you're close to and they're having suicidal thoughts and they're really in a dark place and they're rejecting your help, you gotta tell somebody. I'm gonna be the first to tell you. You gotta tell somebody. If you really care about them, you've gotta tell somebody. You cannot keep that to yourself. Now I know what that means. And I'm sure you know what that means. That means they're gonna be mad at me. They might not be my friend no more. You know what? You should love them so much that you're willing to say, I'm willing to go without you being my friend because I want you at least to be alive. Because I can't tell you how many young people kept a secret. They saw something, they saw the warning signs, but they didn't say anything because they were afraid that their friend would be upset with them and then their friend took their lives. So let me just tell you something, you are valuable. If you're watching this episode right now of Next Level Students and you thought about suicide and you thought about giving up, I'm telling you right now, you are valuable. This world needs you. All the pain, all the hard times you're going through, I know it hurts, but you cannot give up. There is more life for you to experience and live. And the world is sick, I know it. There was just this ugly shooting at this church in Texas. 26 people died, I know it, but you got to live. The world needs you. We need what you have to offer. You gotta talk to somebody because you should not face this alone. I don't do life alone. I've got a ton of friends that I reach out to and speak to when I'm going through what I'm going through, and they help me get through it. And there are always people there. There are friends, there are counselors, there are teachers. There is somebody in your corner if you choose to see them. All right, so that's my advice to you. We need you and you ain't going nowhere. You shall live and not die.
Overwhelm, you got to first own the fact that you've identified that as the way that you live. You've actually, I always tell people, you get what you tolerate. And so you've gotten used to tolerating that, and you start thinking, this is me, when all it is a habit. It's a habit of the way of looking at life. It's a habit of how you use your body. It's a habit of language that you use. Because certain words, when you use them, you become that. I really believe what you've got to do is train yourself. Train yourself physically. It's like working out. You know, people say, don't you have bad days? Of course I get pissed off, I get frustrated, I feel sad, I do all those things, but I don't stay there. I used to live there. I used to be depressed all the time. I never get depressed now because, not because I'm so positive, it's not fake. It's like a muscle. You know, you can train yourself to get frustrated by doing it all the time. You can train yourself to be stressed out. You can train yourself to feel sad by doing it so often. We get wired. The more we do something, the more wired we get. You can train yourself to feel passionate. You can train yourself to feel strong. And I tell people, don't settle. Remember, you get what you tolerate. Put yourself in gear. Go for a workout. Start to train your body and your mind. And also find something you want to serve greater than yourself. Because if you're just doing this for you, you're going to probably have bad days. But if you're doing it for your family, if you're doing it for your community, if you're doing it for humanity, you really are, and it isn't bullshit, you're going to find a level of energy inside you. You're going to get insights you never have. I really believe motive does matter. If your motive's just for yourself, you don't get much insight. Life supports you because you're part of life. But if you're trying to support more than yourself, when you get a vision, that's how businesses grow. That's how movements happen, right? Find something big in yourself to serve. And make sure that you don't tolerate weakness in yourself. That doesn't mean you're not to feel sad, but you're not just going to stay there because you made that decision. Life's too short to feel like crap. I've decided I want to live in a beautiful state for the rest of my life. That doesn't mean I won't feel bad. It means I won't stay there because I'm in control and I can change it. So can you.